Good day, everyone. So we are the Group 1 representative. We are here to tackle about our lesson, which entitled The Political Self. Before we start, I would like to introduce our leader, Mr. Well Junior Barbosa, and for the members, yours truly, Angel Mia Abenido, Miss Fritzy Aboyabor, Miss Arabella Besadre, Miss Giselle Borromeo, and lastly, but not the least, Miss April Me Kabag.
Good day, everyone. And now today, we will discuss with our group members with the topics political self. So, what comes up when we hear the word political self? So, it's all about politica, right? So, political self, it explores how our social and economic context profoundly affects our mental health and well-being, and how modern microscientific and psychodynamic research can both contribute to enrich and our understanding of this wider discussion. So, do you know that politics derive from the Greek word politica? So, and also politics etymologically defined as affairs to the cities. So, politics is a process of making decision that applies to all members of the group. It is the ability to govern and control a group of person in community, states, or in nation. It can be inferred from this new that a person's ability to influence others by making a decision for them is one of the essential qualities in one's political self. So politics it is important part of our human development because it promotes ideologies and about democracy, citizenship, human rights, freedom, family health, and other social issues. So, politics does not only exist in governmental society, but also exists in all human societies. It serves as the mechanism body which individuals develop powers and understanding proper functioning of a democratic society as citizens. Political self and being a Filipino. So, to this lesson, I am expecting that the end of this lesson, you're gonna develop and explain the different Filipino values and traits. Demonstrate critical, reflective thoughts and integrating the various aspects of self. Value the importance of family markers and determine how to be a good Filipino. So, what makes a Filipino genuine Filipino? So, what makes a Filipino genuine Filipino? So, through the physical characteristics such as having a dark hair, flat nose, a dark complexion, makes a one Filipino, or is it a person's language? Or is it a person's language, birthplace, and ethnicity? If you're able to introduce yourself as a Filipino to a person, another nationality, and he or she as who are Filipinos. So the Philippines, as we know it today, has only emerged in 1980s after over 3 centuries of colonizations of the Spaniards. Meanwhile, liberation from the last colonizers, the Japanese, only occurred in 1946. Foreign culture, beliefs, language, and religions have made a huge dent in our own by setting a foundation to the contemporary Filipino identity to the colonization mentality remains as an issues, right, given the widest discrepancy between between the liberation period and today's time. So, would it be safe to say that Filipinos have truly developed an identity of their own, or are we still living in the shadows of our own colonial friends? So, in this chapter, you will learn that the individual's race, ethnicity, and physical characteristic are not the only factors that makes a person's national identity. Values and traits are also important indicators or that apart in one's nationality from the others. So these values and not always be a positive thing, but being to identify oneself apart from other nationalities and point out weaknesses and mistakes paired with unity and commitment make progress a possibility through common goals, principles and values for its people and a nation empowers itself. So what is a Filipino, or who is a Filipino? So Filipino citizens are those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines, those born January 17, 1973 of the Philippines of Filipinos. So, and others who elect Philippines upon reaching the age of majority, and those who are naturalized in accordance with the law. So, it is according with the 1987 Philippines constitutions. So, Filipinos are often referred to as a globally renowned personalities like Manny Pacquiao, Michael Senko, and Leah Salonga, and so on who are those who have made Filipinos recognized around the world through their expertise. However, being a Filipino is far more than just related. These notable figures just like Independence Day and Buwan ng Wika celebrations. So, prompt us to go back to our roots and reflect on the question, who is a Filipino? But technically, just according to the 1987 Philippines Constitution. So, however, citizenship is not the only markers of being a Filipino's cultures and history. History have also greatly influenced the manner of Filipinos to learn, live, and behave today. People who are born and grow up in the same culture develop in the same culture, develop and share common personalities, traits and values. So traits and values generation after generation. So common traits and values have been passed on that the Filipinos of today still embody. So what are those Filipinos and Filipino values and traits? It will be discussed to the next reporters of our group members. So thank you, and I hope that you've learned a lot with my topic that I'll discuss. So
Filipino values and traits. The Filipino hospitality. Filipinos welcome guests and tourists as if they are their own brothers and sisters. They always make their guests feel at home, offering them something to eat or even a place to stay. Second, respect for elders. Filipinos greet their elders by kissing their hand while saying "Mano po" and constantly using "po" and "opo" in conversations. Third, close family ties. Filipinos maintain a tight relationship with their families, regardless if the children are old enough and already have families of their own. Fourth, cheerful personality. Filipinos have a habit of smiling and laughing a lot. They always try to maintain a positive outlook in life, which makes them resilient and able to manage almost everything with a simple smile. Fifth, self sacrifice. The self sacrificing attitude is the extension of the Filipino hospitality. Filipinos go out of their way to extend help to their friends, families, and loved ones. Sixth, bayanihan. It is the spirit of communal unity and cooperation of Filipinos. It is also about giving without expecting something in return. Filipinos are always ready to share and help their friends and loved ones who are in.
So thank you so much, Miss Angel Me Abenedo. So for now, I will be the one to continue the discussion of Miss Angel Me Abenedo, which is all about the Filipino values and trait. So first, bahala na attitude. So it is a Filipino version of the famous line, Hakuna Matata. So meaning no worries. So, the praise is said to have originated from Bathala na, where Bathala means God, and the praise means leaving everything into God's hands. So second is manana habit. So a Filipino term for procrastination, and it was derived from a longer Filipino phrase called mamayana, meaning dawdling things which could have been at an earlier time. So, for example, sa ato karon, uso kayo na to ng mga unya na siya buhaton, unya na. Then, tagaantag mga task, maingon na ita, ugma na lang, kalas kay siya ugma. So, muna siya example sa manya na habit. Imbis makaya ni mo mabuhat karon pero imo magipa ugma-ugma pa kay daladagway sa tapol. So, mauna siya yung mga manyana habit. Example. So, next is Ningas Kugon. So, Ningas Kugon is a Filipino term, flame, and Kugon is a Filipino term for kugon or grass that easily burns out after it is put into flames. Nigas kugon refers to the attitude of eagerly starting things but quickly losing eagerness soon after experiencing difficulty. So kanang nigas kugon is more siya kugon, di ba? Ang kugon kung imuha na siyang pasigaon musiga kusukay na siya musiga then dali ra po siya maupos. So mao na siya. For example, so New Year man kuno padong na ta New Year ron. Then kanang ang akong goal is gusto ko mag-diet kay ganahan ko magpa-sexy. So ang akong gihimo mag-diet ko then mag-exercise. Then after a month napulaan ako mag-exercise kay kapoy na kaayos sa akong lawas. Then mayra ko sa una. Sa una lang masaya, sa una lang hindot. So, after pila ka months, kapoy naman, then lami na kay ikaw, labi na kay daghan og mga sudaan nga lami. So, babay diet ug exercise. So, mao na siya example sa nigas ko. Kinaunhan ra jud siya ganado. Then, after og mga pila ka kuan, mawala na, abta nagkalaay, gikapot. So, next is pride. So, most Filipinos hold on to their pride as if they are more precious than keeping a good relationship with family and loved ones. So, when two parties are not in good terms, they find it so hard to apologize and wait until the other party for an apology first. So, example for pride attitude is naay mag-uyab. Then si buyog si girl gaaway. And then isig patas anay sila og mga pride. So maoto, naghuwata sila kinsay mo una og sorry, kinsay mo una og chat, kinsay mo una og kanang tagad. So isig patas anay sila og mga pride. And then after og pila ka days kay nagbuwag sila kay ngano tungod sa ilang tag-as og pride. So the next is the crab mentality. So this is a toxic trait among Filipinos where one resents the achievements of another instead of feeling happy for that person. So kanidi ang crab mentality is ganing masuya ka sa mong isig ka taos sa labi na sa mga improvements kung unsay nakita niya mga improvements niya o iyang mga achievements kanang dili gani ka happy sa iyang improvements. So mao na siya example sa crab mentality. So the next is the Filipino time. So Filipinos have this common attitude of arriving late of commitments, dinner, or parties, especially if they are meeting someone close to them. So sa atong mga Pilipino, common kay nato ning words nga Filipino time, di ba? Kay kung unsay atong exact nga time nga mag-abot kunuhay ta, example mag-abot tag 8 sa plaza kay mag-practice, pero ang atong mga kauban maabot ta dito mga alas 9 kapin imbis ang exact time natong gisabutan is 8. So nadyoy mga alang tao mo nang maana sila dayon na Filipino time. So Pinoy jud mo na dayon sila.
Hello, lovely people. This is Arbella Basadre, and I will be continuing the report about political self. So, Filipino makers is also part of a political self. The first Filipino maker is the Proverbs or Salawikain. Ang may malinis na kalooban ay walang kinatatakutan. That is an example of Salawikain or Proverbs in English. So what is Proverbs or Salawikain? Filipino proverbs are saying that convey lessons and reflections on Filipino practices, beliefs, and traditions. An example of proverbs or salawikain is, ang buhay ay parang gulong. Minsan, nasa ibabaw, minsan naman nasa ilalim. This translates to life is like a wheel. Sometimes you're up, and sometimes you're down. You can sense the undramatic, calm approach to life that is essentially Filipino. The second Filipino maker, or makers rather, is the superstitions. So Filipinos subscribe to their own set of superstitions passed down from generations to generation. Some of this may be influenced by belief from other cultures. But Filipinos have retold these superstitions according to their experiences, and they sometimes end up even more interesting. Example: siblings should not marry within the same year. That's a superstition. Blame your missing things on elves. Ang ubang mga Filipino naanda na gyud ng magluto og pansit kada birthday or any celebrations because it can make our life longer kuno. Mo po na siya usa sa superstition. Example sa superstitions. So next up is the myths and legends. These are stories that aim to explain the origin of things, at the same time teach a valuable lesson. In short, a story tradition. So, example are the story of Maria Makiling, Alamat ng Pinya, which is the most popular legend here in our country, Philippines. Alamat ng Mangga. So that's the example of myths and legends. Last but not the least are the heroes and icons. Heroes serves as reminder of true patriotism and nationalism. So this means feels love and devotion. So it is also means that they support sa ilang interest. Like for example, ang akong idol or kanang akong pinaka-idol kay si Miss Saigon Lea Salonga. So, patriotism and nationalism are similar, as they have sacrificed their lives for the sake of their country's freedom and progress. The heroes in our country are first, Dr. Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, Lapu-Lapu, and many more. You can see the heroes in the upper left in this slide. While the icons are Miss Lea Salonga, Pia Wurtzbach, Catriona Gray, our Pambansang Kamao, Mr. Manny Pacquiao, and many more. So the four Filipino makers are the proverbs or salawikain, second is superstition, third, myth and legends, and fourth are the heroes and icons. Again, so first is proverbs and salawikain, proverbs or salawikain rather, sorry. Second is superstitions, third is myths and legends, and fourth are the heroes and icons. So that's all about the Filipino makers.
And now let's talk about on how to be a good Filipino. So first, be an active Filipino citizen. A good Filipino citizen is aware of the current events and participants in government programs that aims for the country's progression and development. By simply exercising your right to vote, you also become an active Filipino. So, one of the examples that you are a good citizen is when you are participative, especially in elections. So, as a Filipino, dapat active ta nga mutabang o muapil sa mga kalihukan na makapatabang pagpa-develop sa atong country. And as a Filipino, we must be responsible and be a good role model, especially to children. The second one is to study the Philippine history. The road of the Philippine history is long and bloody. And by learning and fully understand the events of the Philippine history, you will learn so much as to why it is important for you to love your country with your life, extend help to your fellow Filipinos in need, and recognize abuse of political power. So, ang kaning Philippine history, nag-serve ni as a guide of every Filipinos for present and future plans. So, through Philippine history, you will learn and observe the beginning and the development of our country. And by that, it strengthens our sense of nationalism. And also, as a good Filipino, it is important to know our roots and be proud to be a Filipino. Next, supporting local products. When you buy local products, you do not only support local manufacturers and businessmen, but you also help strengthen the local economy. So, supporting local means supporting yourself too. Kay if mupalit ka og Philippine-made products, the income or the money will be maintained in the community. So, there is a possibility nga mo expand ang business. And if the business would be expand, it only means nga they would also require more employee. So, supporting local is very important. It's because it can create job opportunities to our fellow Filipinos.
There are 5 ways to be a good Filipino. As Giselle Borromeo said, first, be an active Filipino citizen. Second, study the Philippine history. Third, support local products. And the fourth is speak the Filipino language. Jose Rizal highlighted the importance of speaking a national language as a way of displaying the love for one's country. Speaking Filipino also serves as a unique identifier of being a Filipino. Nya kasagaran sa mga ginikanan karon, ganan sila ilang anak mugamit og English to communicate. Kay para inikadako nila kung mangita sila trabaho, they'll have a competitive advantage. Yes, we can't deny that learning a new language is a positive for us. This can be used as a way for us to communicate with one another. On the other hand, we should be aware of the importance of Filipino language because some individuals don't believe there are any advantages to learning, using, and being competent at Filipino. It always comes in second place to English. So for the fifth, do not spread fake news and be democratic in engaging with dissent. It is part of being a good Filipino to understand and verify what you read online, especially in social media. Before actually believing in it and spreading it wildfire, it is also the responsibility of every Filipino to recognize disagreement and political views, be tolerant and argue intelligently without having to resort to name-calling people. There will always be fake news in our country, and that is the truth. There is no one who can stop it. In order to combat the spread of fake news, we must rely on and trust only trusted sources, such as radio, television, newspaper, and official pages for news and updates. We must not rely on information from sources that aren't licensed or reliable. And that are the 5 ways on how to be a good Filipino.
That would be all. Thank you.